What would you be on TV for?
The Bachelor.
If you could be on TV for anything, you would want to be on The Bachelor?
Yes.
Why?
Because that would expand my horizons on men.
I know you lying. What? You're serious too, huh?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Wait, isn't there like different Bachelor type things, like shows?
Yeah, but like
which Bachelor show would you want to be on?
In Paradise, because it's the beach, and I like the beach.
You really like watch that stuff?
Yeah.
I hate reality TV.
That's rude.
I don't mess with it at all. I mean, like sports. I don't know if you consider sports reality TV, but other than no, absolutely not. I know everybody, all you ladies, most of you ladies, y'all love The Bachelor.
There's some guys that love The Bachelor too.
What I know who loves it. Steven loves
Pastor Steven.
He loves The Bachelor. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. He might get mad at me, but I don't care. This man loves The Bachelor. He get at home. They say he get home. He put his feet in the couch, and you know what I'm saying, he get cozy. He get some popcorn, and he just watch it like a little kid.
I know him and Laura. They love The Bachelor.
What? Have you been over to their house to watch The Bachelor?
Yes, we did every week.
Wow.
A couple of us. Bachelor party. You were not invited.
Y'all had bachelor parties.
We did.
Oh, I don't think I was here yet, cause I got here. I moved here during COVID.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, it was right before COVID.
Yeah.
Are we starting?
Yeah, we already started.
Oh.
See, I told you, it's cool.
Okay.
Y'all, Ashley is just a little nervous today, but she's gonna do an amazing job. We love Ashley.
Oh, thank you.
Ashley, what do you got? You got plans this weekend? It's the 4th of July weekend.
I do have plans.
Everybody's gonna do something.
I am going to the beach.
Hey, which beach are you going to?
Orange Beach, just for a day, but we got tropical disturbances, so that might be canceled.
Yeah, that's tough. We went to Orange Beach not too long ago with our leaders for our leader retreat.
And I was not invited.
For our leader retreat.
I need to be a leader then.
There you go. Hey, she figured it out. There you go. You're more than capable. We love for you to be a leader here at Celebration Church, where God is made, love is felt, and lives are changed.
Amen. Thank you.
I am going to Maverick City concert this weekend.
Nice.
Hey.
Ooh.
I'm excited about it.
Where at?
In Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna make
going one-to-one?
We're gonna make a one-day trip. Allie and I are going.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be real fun.
And I still didn't get invited.
So let's get started. It's a leadership thing. You just gotta, you know what I'm saying? We like to treat our leaders well, because our leaders, they really do a lot of hard work that sometimes goes unnoticed, you know? And also, like, leading life groups every week can be exhausting and hard, you know, especially with the other life things that happen. So like every now and then we like to treat them really well, you know? So like going to Orange Beach or, you know, Maverick City.
Nice.
So, Ashley, you were a part of the missions panel that we had last Sunday. This was to close out our staycation series.
It was a good series. It was
a good series. What was your favorite? What I want to say, ask you that question. What was your most memorable moment of the staycation series?
I mean, of course, like me speaking.
All right, moving on.
Let me stay humble. I think it was the week. I don't know. They were all really good. Like Pastor David Speed, his sermon really stuck out to me, and also Cynthia's as well.
Yeah. So everybody's?
Yeah, pretty much. It was a really good.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I might have missed the first one.
Yeah.
Oops.
It's fine. Something that David Speed says, when he talked about like our passions and being responsible for the things that we know, that's really been like weighing on me, just like trying to discover like what are my passions, whether they are like immediately glorifying or not, you know, like because sometimes we're passionate about like for example, I'm passionate about basketball. I'm playing sports, you know. So like, I just been looking at my life in those other areas and thinking like, man, okay, how can I leverage these passions to like be a missionary? You know, like whether that's like going play basketball in City Park or something, or like somewhere in the city to just meet new people, talk to them, build those relationships with them. You know, just like meet new people and tell them about Jesus. You know, that's like the whole point. And so, yeah, I don't know. That's really just something that stuck out to me this week. But the panel was really, really good.
It was really good.
Even though I talked too much.
But yeah, what David said, he said something about like, what do you see differently than others? Like as in your burdens or your heart that like other people just can't see. And he made a good point about like how he sees Spanish people in a way that like no other people really see because they don't have that burden
Yeah.
for it. And I was thinking the same way with human trafficking. Like, that's what I'm passionate about, and I'll share it till I'm blue in the face. But I still feel like people, for whatever reason, they're just not as passionate about it, even when they hear about all this stuff. So that's how I knew, like, that's my calling, you know?
Yeah. So you just mentioned, obviously, that you're geared more towards, you're more passionate about sex trafficking, anti-sex trafficking specifically.
Right, anti.
Yeah.
We need to add anti.
I was talking
in
to
that.
people in the office, and I was like telling them who's on the panel. I was like, yeah, Ashley's going to be there to talk about, she does sex trafficking. She was like, no. You need to be specific in saying that she does anti-sex trafficking. I was like, oh, what? You know
I forget too.
That's a good point to make, because that'd be bad if I said that from the stage.
Really bad.
But you do anti-sex trafficking work. But be specific. Like, what is your ministry? Like, what do you call it? How did you get involved in that kind of thing?
Yeah, so I have a nonprofit called By His Light, and it's originated with the verse Job 29:3, and by His light I walk through the darkness. My main thing is
I'm an amen you when you need an amen, girl. You need an amen right there. You just quoted that verse so smooth. Hallelujah.
It was the verse that got me through like a lot when I was like in depression, and I just kept looking at that verse, and it really spoke to me. And I just feel like by His light, like these women who are trafficked, like they will get out of it. And even like the pimps and the Johns who are selling these women, like one day they will be saved and repent for everything that they're doing. And I just believe it's by His light. And then as far as the nonprofit, I didn't think I would be able to ever do it. Like, I thought you needed a building for it. But I think the goal, and now we're in 2022, like things look different. Like, I can just run it through social media, and the main goal is spreading awareness through social media and then also through clothes. And I know this is a podcast, they can't see me, but those on YouTube, I'm wearing one of the shirts that I designed.
It says PSA.
I'm not an
object. I am not an object. Bars.
Yeah, so the shirts are really bold, and it's a good conversation starter, and that's how you spread awareness. Like, when people wear them, some people might ask.
So that's like a big goal for you in your ministry. It's just raising awareness.
Yes.
Right? Why
also money.
Yes.
But yes.
You mentioned money a lot on the panel, which was a lot of fun.
We do need money.
It was funny. So talk to us about why building awareness for sex trafficking is so pivotal in this area of ministry, your area of ministry.
It's just really important because how much human trafficking is in plain sight, and people just aren't aware for whatever reason. Like, if you go down on David Drive in Kenner, there's literally 4 hidden brothels. And it's important to spread awareness of what they look like, how can you spot them, and how can you, even when you're driving by, like, just pray for them. I think it's hard to just go in there and shut it down, but I think it starts at awareness, and that's really important. And also with social media, and things are just getting more strategic in that industry. It's not like how it was back then where, okay, be careful when you're walking by yourself because a car can pull up and they can snatch you. But now they're getting very strategic, creating these fake profiles that look so real and almost like, I can't pronounce that word. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't, but
no, like luring.
Luring?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's important though, because I think a lot of people assume that it's still like sex trafficking is just asking a kid to come to your car because you got some candy, but it's much more deceptive.
And it also happens to men. Like,
okay, so that's good. So
all ages.
Your target audience isn't just women. It's also men. Yeah,
like my target audience for awareness is like everybody, but also because the sex trafficking industry, like they target like any race, any color, any age. Like, they'll even grab 60-year-old women, or like
really
men.
Wow. I mean, you're educated.
Just anybody.
That's wild. That's good. So obviously, like you could be doing a lot of other things right now, right? A lot of other mission works. And you mentioned earlier that this is one that you've grown to be passionate about. But what led you to be passionate about this particular area of mission work, of the, to serve in the kingdom and be passionate about these specific people? Yeah, so I've been a part of Celebration for a hot minute now, like when we were on Transcontinental Campus. I know, I talked to Miss Lisa, who does the youth ministry. She's been doing it for a very long time. Shout out Miss Lisa. She's the GOAT, okay? She is. And she has your picture plastered around her office space. I did that, yeah. I put it up there. Told her not to take it down. Oh, okay. So she don't really love you as much as I thought she do. She love me. But it was like you forced her to love you. I did force. Wow. That's how you do it? Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Just like I force
my way in.
Oh yeah,
here.
yeah. This girl gonna say, "Hey," after the panel, she was like, "Hey, you doing a podcast? Can I be on it?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get back with you.
I
We'll
gotta
see."
let the people know about trafficking.
But then this morning, she was like, "I don't know, Darius. I almost canceled on you." I was like, "What? Shoot."
Why you gotta expose me?
I told you I was going to expose everything you said to me. That's what I do.
Well, anyways, back to the question. Back to the question, please. What was the question?
The question was, why are you passionate about this area of ministry? Like, what led you to want to do this type of mission work?
Yes, like I was saying, I've been a part of Celebration for a minute now.
Okay.
And as a youth, every year we would go to the Houston mission trip. It was every summer. It was for 5 days. And when you think mission trip, you think out of the country and all that stuff. So fundraising was a little challenge because I would tell people, I'm going on a mission trip. And then I'm like, they're like, where? And I'm like, Houston. And they're like, oh, okay. But like, little do these people know, like, that's the mission trip that like changed who I am today and like made me passionate about what I'm passionate about. So we would go every year, and a part of it was doing like projects and painting houses and also like VBS, but also a part was learning about human trafficking. We would visit this huge organization called Elijah Rising, Christian anti-trafficking nonprofit. We would just learn about it. They had a office, and it was like a modern day museum where it used to be a brothel, but they shut it down, and then they revamped it for other people to walk in and see what a brothel looks like on the inside without actually having to go into one, because that's dangerous. But we would learn about trafficking that way, and also like van tours, and they taught us like how to spot those hidden brothels that are in plain sight.
Have you ever spotted any of that specific activity?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like on David Drive, there's like so many, because I am able to the point where I can spot them because of the training and also like going out there. Right. So every year we would go out there, and like the first year it stuck to me and I was like, oh my God, but it just like went through like one ear and out the other. Like when I came back to New Orleans, it was like whatever. And then the second year, I felt really passionate about it, and then, just the same thing. And then it wasn't until the third year I felt like the Lord was knocking, like, okay, wake up, Yeah. And it was because year 1 and year 2, to be totally transparent, like I was living in sin. Like I was doing one thing behind closed doors, and then also like trying to be a leader at the same time. But it wasn't until the third year when I was kind of like getting out of all that, and I like went and learned about trafficking again, like through this mission trip. And it really like stuck out to me. Like I was like, I wanted to do something about these women who are being trafficked every day. But then that's when the Lord spoke to me. Like, how can you be passionate about this when you're living in sexual sin? Like you are participating in the same sexual sin spirit. Yeah. And it, sin is all equal in the Lord's eye. Like,
sure.
So it almost was like, what made me better than the person that was selling sex if I'm out here having sex before marriage? And that's when I recommitted my life to the Lord. And I was like, okay, like if I'm going to be passionate about this and fight against these women and also like have a voice and stand up for, like, I need to give up the things that aren't glorifying the Lord. And it was also through that in my testimony that I also felt like an object by like this particular relationship, and it broke my heart learning about these women. And I couldn't imagine being the girl that was used multiple times by multiple different men. I almost felt like I related to these women like to a certain extent, like just being used by an object by one person. Like again, like I said, I just couldn't imagine that being my life like every single day and then having no way out. So to answer your question, that's why I'm passionate on it.
I think that's good because and we talked about this on the panel, because a lot of times when we think about doing mission works, whether that's local or foreign missions, being everyday missionaries, we are only thinking about how we can help that person. But oftentimes in our effort to help somebody else, they end up helping us, right? They end up impacting us. And so I know you just talked a little bit about it, but are there other ways in which doing this type of ministry has impacted you personally?
Wait, repeat the question.
Are there ways in which doing this ministry has impacted you, like personally? Maybe it's changed your perspective. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's changed your perspective. Maybe it's changed how you view people. I know you just talked about how it changed how you view yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I like brain froze.
That's okay.
I think personally it impacted me like through my testimony, like, kind of getting my life right and together. And also with specifically like local mission work, when I knew I was passionate about it, like I just always thought I was going to move out to Houston and live there and, work with that huge nonprofit. And it wasn't until like the 4th year, we were coming back from the mission trip. And at this point, I already decided, like, I'm going to pack my bags after high school. Like, I'm living in Houston. Like, that's my calling.
Yeah.
And the Lord was like, no. Like, I have you here for a reason in New Orleans. And we were driving home. And this is where we were getting, like, closer to my house. And because of all the training and, like, how to spot brothels, I was looking outside the window and I saw so many in my very own neighborhood. And there's one literally on the same street in my neighborhood. And it just, like, broke my heart. And I also was like, how are these running? How are these operating? Why is no one doing anything about it? And the Lord was like, because no one knows. Yeah. And you have all this knowledge, but you're not doing anything about it. Yeah. And you're not sharing it with your community. So change my perspective on things that you don't have to move to be a missionary. Like your mission could even be in your very own home with your family if they aren't saved. So that's when it just changed my perspective of things with specifically mission work. And I decided to be committed like to my community here. And that's when I was able to launch my nonprofit. But that did happen 4 years later because I did procrastinate. But that's another story.
But you got there.
Yeah, we got there.
Better late than never.
Right.
I know, like, when we talk about being everyday missionaries, a lot of it is like just investing in people. Like people knowing that you care, people knowing that like you want to be there for them. Like you going out and having eyes to see, like all that's great. But what I've learned is that there's a sense of consistency that's needed, no matter like what type of missionary work that we're doing. Is that something that you can relate to? Have you learned the value of consistency in your own area of ministry, and like why that's important for us to carry in our everyday lives with other people?
I think it's very important. I almost feel like if you're not being consistent, you're not abiding or living in God's calling for you. And that's how I was like.
Go back, rewind that. If you're not consistent, she said, if you're not consistent, you're not living in God's will for you. Go ahead. You might be dibbling and dabbling in it, but you're not living in it.
Right.
Hallelujah. See, I knew you was gonna get on here and preach, girl. Okay, continue.
Anyways, don't pop my head up. This is from the Lord, okay? Yeah, because like I said, like this mission trip for me, like when I was a youth. So then all in college, I kind of like didn't do anything about my passion, and I wasn't consistent, and I wasn't abiding in God's calling. And then, like COVID happened. So that was like an excuse for me. And we also like stopped going to Houston because of that and whatnot. And then, it was like after college. So it took 4 years for me to launch a nonprofit. And then even then I learned like consistency is so important. Like I'm preaching to myself because I haven't been consistent on posting and spreading the awareness like I would like to. But this year I have devoted more like hands-on, like doing things like this and talking about it and spreading awareness more like, behind the scenes and stuff. But then it's just, you just have to be consistent. Like, I really don't know how to explain. Like, I really feel like you aren't living in your calling when you're not doing anything about it and you're not being consistent in it. And I also feel like this type of work is very heavy. Like, it takes for you to be just spiritually mature as well. And it's not just, okay, I can donate one time and not care about it. But it's like, who are going to spread awareness to save these women? Right. And it's happening just so much. Like, you just need to be consistent in it. Yeah.
No, that's good. I think that... like consistency, like I said earlier, it just applies to every area of ministry and like outreach or whatever. Like if you're not consistent, then people don't actually know that you care. Right. People don't actually think that you want it. And more towards your point, like if this is something we're passionate about, this is a God-given passion, then like it's important for us to act on it, because odds are this is like the reason why I'm burdened about this is because God's given me this burden to actually do something about it. Right. And whether it takes you 4 years or 2 years or 3 years or 1 year or 6 months or a week or a day, you need to get there. Okay?
Yeah, it's kind of like the gym. Like if you're not consistent, you're not going to see results. Exactly. In the same way with mission works, if you're not consistent, you ain't going to see the results.
Right. And then that's another thing we talked about as when we were talking about on the panel about being everyday missionaries, is that sometimes like you don't get congratulated or like pats on the back because you're doing what you do. Like sometimes it's just about putting your head down and just getting it done so that you can be faithful before the Lord. Have you been in that place in your time of ministry, just like, no, I'm doing all this work, but like nobody see me, Because I know that like that can be hard. Have you been there personally?
I think like I don't know, because like going into this, I kind of already knew like I'm not getting the pats on the back, but I also like purposely just don't want that. You know, I don't know, like if you notice like on the Instagram for my nonprofit, like I purposely like do not want to put my face anywhere on it. Like I don't want it to be about me. And that was also something I like battled with at first, because at first I thought it was gonna be like a fashion line where I can make some profit and like sell the clothes, whatever, and all that stuff. But I felt like the only way to be very like make it focused about the Lord and not of me is to make it a nonprofit. Like I don't get any of the proceeds and it's not about me. So I think like already coming in knowing with that mindset. So I don't know if that answers your question.
No, that does, because I think that's the right mindset. That's the healthy mindset. Like if it's about you, then
it is hard. I do love myself. So, you know, I would love a pat on the back.
Right. But, you know, but in terms of like when we do, it's because I think it's something we all struggle with, like in our flesh, you know, in our humanity, like we want the praise. Right. And I think there's a sense in which it's okay to be appreciated, you know, and I think sometimes we just want to be appreciated for the things that we doing for other people. But like sometimes there's seasons of which that's not the case. You know, but like it's having the mindset that you have, and that this is not about me. This is about people who don't need Jesus. This is about people who need rescue, spiritual rescue, mental rescue, physical rescue. You know, and like we bring that to the table as missionaries in Jesus. Like no matter what mission field that we find ourselves working in. But no, that's good. Last question. You ready?
Okay.
Leave us with something. If you wanted to leave a piece of advice from what you learned from your ministry with other people, what would you say to us?
That is not in the script.
It's not in the script.
It's not in the script.
You can do it. Leave us with something. Leave us with something.
Okay. I don't know. There's just so much.
Hey, pick one.
You really caught me off guard.
I did get you off guard. You'll be fine. Come on. You have so much wisdom to offer.
Thank you. I mean, it's the Lord's wisdom. Okay.
All right.
Okay,
See, we're not giving you appreciation.
Back on topic. I think the main thing is whatever, you know, your passion is and your calling, like that's going to take time. Like it doesn't come overnight, you know, with that. But as soon as you find that, you just have to run with it. And I'm very guilty of just kind of putting it on the back burner, like focusing on my career and doing this and this. But then I also realized like, that's not what we're here for. Yeah. You know, like our mission is to bring more people into heaven and less people into hell. And if we're so focusing on me, and our everyday things, I think we get lost in that. So whatever your calling is, like just try to go back and revert, you know, back to that and work as much as you can towards that and make that your focus in life. Like this isn't our home and our eternity, whether it's fighting for, you know, those that are homeless or providing for that or foster care, anything of that, like immigration. I think as long as you're living in your calling, like everything else will fall into place. And I've learned that, like, you know, as everything that I'm doing and having a career, but also trying to live my life, as long as I'm putting the Lord first and then like his calling, everything else, like for whatever reason, just it falls into place. And that is biblical when the Lord says like put him first, like he will take care of the rest. And I have lived, you know, there has been seasons where I've focused so much on myself and my career. And it was almost like those were the seasons where I was like burning and drowning and burnt out and I wasn't putting the Lord first. So whatever your calling is, like put that above all else.
Wow. Can we just give? See, I knew it was in you. You just had to pull it out a little bit. Ashley, thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
No, thank you for having me. Just thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. Also wanted to thank you and the man behind the camera, Taylor. Show your face.
He will never show his face. We are begging Taylor to show his face.
Can you say hi to the people, Taylor? Okay.
He said, hey, people.
Don't cut that out.
Not as good. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. See y'all.